All right, Shalom. I'm going to start first by giving all praises and glories unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, and greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the house of David the elect, those that will receive salvation. Yeah, this should be a pretty quick lesson. I wrote down a few scripts, so we'll try to just run through them and keep it timely. But basically, just kind of want to touch on why the 2/3 in general won't get their minds right. Why some of the who we considered at one time Akim fell out. Matter of fact, I got a quick one. This is how it works, right? You don't have them written down, but the Spirit tells you to read certain stuff. This is 1 John chapter 2 verse 19. I'm gonna start at 18. Little children, it is the last time, as ye have heard, that Antichrist shall come. Even now there are many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. And I'm reading this in the next verse in particular because, and the verse after that, particularly, well, let me just keep reading. It said, they went out from us, but they have not, they went out from us, but they were not of us. If they had been of us, they would have no doubt have continued with us. But they went out, that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. And the purpose of me reading these scriptures is because if you're not with the program of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and the brotherhood and so on and so forth, then you're an antichrist, man. You're an anti-anointed, an anti-Hamashiach. You become a damn demon to the Akim around you, and and you go back to being a demon. Probably even where it says 7 more demons come upon you, than you were before you started. The latter state of the man is worse than that would begin. But that's the point here. This wisdom is given to you so you can be of a better creature, of a better man, of a better person. You can deal better, a better brother. But a lot of people can't hold this wisdom. We tell people on the streets, yeah, do this, do that. Here the Lord said this, Lord said that, and they be like, they act like they get dumbfounded. Some brothers come into the truth and they fall out. They hit a stumbling block. It's a point that they can't cross over. So the Most High snatches them out. Verse 20 it says, but ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. And to know all things is what this Bible will give you. It will give you every major topic, in life that you can follow a guideline and know how to judge properly on what to do and what not to do in that. And that's called wisdom. And that's wisdom right there. Okay, so a lot of people can't hold that wisdom though. So let me go into the scripts now. Matter of fact, I'm going to start with this one over here in Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. I'm going to start at, verse 3. It says, for froward thoughts separate from the Most High God. Froward meaning abrasive, perverse, Froward meaning rough, not balanced in judgment when you're thinking about it. It says, for froward thoughts separate from the Most High God and his power. When it is tried, reprove it the unwise. The true thoughts and the power of the Most High tries you and improveth the thoughts. It says, for unto a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter. And that's the point. For a malicious soul, that means if you can't get your soul correct, or you have a black heart, as this image shows here, which the Edomites naturally have that. The heathens don't have a proper heart because they're not Israelites, and 2/3 of the Most High's people don't have the proper heart. The 2/3 have a stony heart right now, but the Most High through the new covenant will give them a fleshly heart, but the elect will swap that over on this side without seeing death. It says, this is Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 4. For into a malicious soul shall not, for into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject to sin. So when you break these statute, laws, and commandments of the Most High God, which we all break them, but if you don't repent, if you don't ask for for forgiveness for the things that you can't control, the Most High, he gonna snatch his spirit from you. Or he won't deal with you off the top. Some guys come out there and they show up, and then you tell them you got to stop eating pork, and that's the end all be all. Oh, that's the line I can't cross. You got to wear these garments. Oh, that's the line I can't cross. You got to study all the time. Well, that's the line I can't cross. You got to be good to your brother. That's the line I can't cross. This is a every week thing for the rest of your life. No, you can't eat. You got to work out. You got to, you got to study. You got to be there. All of these things that it takes to be into the truth, into this brotherhood, into the house of David, into the tabernacle of David, the army of David. Spiritual army first. If you can't go through all of this stuff, then you can't be in there, because you have a malicious soul, and it starts and originates against the Most High God all the way down through His Son, and then it perpetuates out into the brotherhood. Or it comes out from yourself. And we see it. It says, for the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit. If you have the Holy Spirit of discipline, you will flee from all that black-hearted stuff, right? It says, and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. Yep. If you letting in unrighteousness, it's not going to hang out with you. Wisdom ain't going to stick with you. It says, for wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For the Most High is witness of his reins, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue. So he knows what your real thoughts are. He knows what the intents of the heart truly are. In this Bible, according to Hebrews, the 4th chapter, is a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. It can show a man upon the earth how to read people and to see what they really were trying to get across deep within them. It says, for the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh filleth the world, and that which containeth all things have knowledge of the voice. You have knowledge of the voice. You have fear of the Most High God, and you will obey what He needs you to do, and He will give you wisdom. All right, that's it on that. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to, there's a bunch of scripture here. Wisdom of Solomon, back in Wisdom of Solomon, the 9th chapter. Okay. Bear with me one sec while I grab it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 6 says, For though a man be never so perfect among the children of men, yet is thy wisdom. What if thy wisdom be not with him, he shall be nothing regarded. Yeah, just like the Most High said, the heathen are nothing because they can't hold His wisdom. Well, the 2/3 are the same way. If you can't hold this wisdom, then you're going to be nothing regarded. He only cares about His elect on this side. Contrary to popular belief, Most High only cares about His elect because they hold His words, and His words are wisdom, and they live with that. I'm going to jump down to verse 14. It says, For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. For the corruptible body, and that's what a lot of people do, they'll go into the ways of men. They'll go by the ways of men to get their understanding, versus going into the true wisdom of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. It says, for the corruptible body presses down the soul. It weighs you down. It has you in the chains of darkness. It keeps you from doing the righteous wisdom things. Like Paul said, that I would do, I do not. But that I hate, that I do. He does what he hates. And it's because of the sinful flesh we have. Anyway, reading on, it says, and the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind that museth upon many things. And it said the heart is desperately wicked, who could know it? Above all things, and who could know it? I'm talking about your mind, which connects to your flesh. So you guys got to get out of that whole thinking with your heart or thinking with your body or your flesh or your senses and start thinking with the spirit, man, and following the spirit. The spirit will guide you right there. But how do you know which direction the spirit's going in? If you're reading, the spirit will sup with you and guide you where you need to be. And this is going to be a crucial coming in these last days because we're down to the wire now. We're just waiting for the next event that kicks off the next event. The martial law, the mark of the beast to be mandatory. You know, we're waiting on those things to happen. It says, and hardly do we guess aright at things that are upon the earth. Yeah, we're guessing. The Most High knows what they are, but hardly do men guess aright. It says, and with labor do we find the things that are before us, but the things that are in heaven, who have searched out the Most High, and it's written in the Bible the ways to properly understand and to operate in wisdom upon the earth. It says, for so the ways of them which lived on the earth were reformed, and men were taught the things that are pleasing unto thee, and were saved through wisdom. The wisdom is what's going to save you, but if you have a malicious soul, the Most High is not going to save you because wisdom's not going to dwell with you. You see, wisdom's not going to dwell with you if you have a malicious soul. If you don't have the ability to correct and humble down yourself, then the Most High is not going to deal with you. Let me keep going. I have a bunch of scripts in here. Go to Book of Sirach right quick. Sirach chapter 6. And I want, what verse is that? Yes. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. Oh yeah. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 6, verse 20. She, meaning wisdom, when it talks about she is very unpleasant to the unlearned. Wisdom is unpleasant to the unlearned. That's why I can't dwell there. That's the same. Unlearned is the same way as saying malicious. It's not the same thing, but most malicious people are unlearned. They following a wicked sense of the world and not following the wisdom and righteousness of the Most High God. Because to be righteous in this wicked world, it's a responsibility and it's difficult. Period. Point blank. It's a difficult path, but it's worth it for salvation and to appease the Most High God Yahweh. Anyway, it says, she is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. It's a few, the elect, right? The chosen. It says, or at least the called. It says, for wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel from the Most High God. That's this wisdom, right? It says, and put thy feet into her fetters and thy neck into her chain. Yeah, because there's boundaries that you learn with wisdom. There's discipline with wisdom. There's a responsibility. There's lines you can't cross with wisdom. But people want to be free, but they don't understand. You thinking you being free, you wilding out. And as soon as you step out of bounds, Most High sees you out there, he's about to cut you off. Whether you're a 2/3 or whether you're in this truth and you just can't get past something, so you begin to step out into what you used to understand in the world, and now you're dealing with that. And he's going to cut you off if that's the case. 25 said, bow down thy shoulder and bear her, and be not grieved upon her bonds. Talking about wisdom. It's a difficult thing, but there's a responsibility. If you don't have a malicious soul, or to get rid of your malicious soul, humble down. The Most High will continue supping with you and will show you her works. Will show you her wisdom. But it takes work, man. It takes effort. It takes sacrifice. I'm gonna keep moving. Just keep moving around. Yep. Wisdom. This is a Sirach chapter 20. I'm gonna go to verse 14. The gift of a fool shall do thee no good when thou hast it, neither yet of the envious for his necessity, for he looketh to receive many things for one. Right? For little work, he just want to get what he can get, a fool. It says, he giveth little and upbraideth much. He openeth his mouth like a crier. Today he lendeth, and tomorrow he will ask it again. Such an one is to be hated of the Most High and man. The fool saith, and don't, like, if you lend out money, especially if you lend it or brotherhood, you give it or whatever you do, you don't expect it back immediately. You gotta give time to know within reason. Well, I'll get paid Friday. I'll give it back to you Friday. But you gotta know who you're lending to as well, and that's wisdom to know the difference. But when you lend out, you can't be like, I need that tomorrow by 6 o'clock. Like, man, I don't get paid for a week and a half. I'm short this week. I can't get you back to the next payday 2 weeks from now, whatever, Anyway, it says, the fool saith, I have no friends. I have no thank for all my good deeds, and they that eat my bread speak evil of me. And this is going into the hearts of men. This is going into the hearts and the intent that proves that you have a malicious soul. If you can't humble down and understand that the Most High is setting all of this up, and you're just an instrument playing a certain part in his movie, in his song, in his big picture here, that you have to do your part to the best of your ability in righteousness, then you missed the whole thing. It says, and they that eat my bread speak evil of me. How oft and of how many shall he be laughed to scorn? And he knoweth not aright what it is to have, and it is all one unto him as if he had it not. You might as well not have had it. Whether it was wisdom, whether it was not a gift of like the Most High, the trial that I notice the Most High likes to do is he'll give certain people money. He'll give the brother that's really good with money and really giving, he'll give him money to see if he knows who to give it and when to give it. A really giving brother, he'll be like, no, you can't give it every time. You got to know when. And then another brother that's stingy, so to speak, or another man that's stingy, he'll put him in situations with money to see if he gives. It's known that men, when they get money, when the lottery hit big at the casino, will fall out because they don't know how to operate within the brotherhood with worldly possessions. It takes a different type of man from the inside to understand how to deal in his brotherhood with worldly possessions and how to distribute to certain directions and what to keep for yourself. You got to understand that, or what not to give. I can't say necessarily keep for yourself, but what not to give or when to give it even. Right? It says, where are it going down to? All the way to, Verse 20 says, to slip upon a pavement is better than the slip of a tongue. So the fall of the wicked shall come speedily. An unreasonable tale will always be in the mouth of the unwise. And see, unreasonable tale, it's always something going on in this malicious soul that can't hold the wisdom because they don't know when to tell it. They blabbering, they gossiping, they looking for something to say. Sometimes silence is the best answer. You don't have to respond to everything. Just because a brother says something to you, makes a statement at you, don't mean you got to respond. Sometimes a brother will ask you a question. Sometimes it's not best to respond right away in haste. Anyway, it says, verse 20, a wise sentence shall be rejected when it cometh out of a fool's mouth, for he will not speak it in due season. He don't know when to speak it. It's not resting in him. He can repeat a wise statement, but if he don't know when to speak it for application, then it's not really wisdom unto him. All right, so let me jump around. I'm gonna go back to the book of Proverbs, or into the book of Proverbs. And there's wisdom all over this book. Proverbs, Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. the way of a fool is right in his own eyes. Yeah. Because he has a malicious soul. He's not going to look unto the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai to guide him. He's going to look to what he knew, what his mama did, what grandpappy did, or whoever else. Into the carnal ways versus unto the ways of righteousness. He's not going to read the finances. He's not going to seek counsel into brothers, elder brothers, heads of camps, and so on and so forth, to get the answers he truly needs. And I'm talking about life lessons, not just the wisdom out of the book, as far as prophecy goes and breakdowns. Sometimes you, as a younger brother, you may need somebody to ask a question unto about manhood, But if you're going to just, this is what my uncle used to do. My mama told me to do this when this happens. But you can't go by the worldly way. You have to erase all of that when you come into this truth. And it's harder for brothers that's older coming in. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to humble down. That's part of your trial. You got to clean that old guy up completely and really start as a newborn babe. You can't just fill in the blanks. You fill them in or you correct them as you go along. And it can happen faster when you're older and have more experience than as a young man learning it for the first time, trying to get the understanding as you're going through it, versus going through it and not knowing what, and having something, I did this back in the world and that shit never worked. I did this and this was cool, but this is the way I should have did it, because the scriptures and the brother told me that read it. He said, this is how you do it. This is what I did and this works. Right? Proverbs 1:7, the fear of the Lord Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Those malicious souls despise wisdom and instruction. Whether it's immediately when you hear the word, I don't want to go that way. Or if it's you get all the way in this truth 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, however long down the way, and all of a sudden there's something that you can't get past, something that you can't figure out on how to humble yourself to and get understanding from and how to apply it. Now all of a sudden you can't see outside of yourself not doing wrong. You can't find the what's the word I'm looking for? The fault within yourself. You think everybody's looking at you and you ain't got it right. Well, that's something you need to correct in yourself. That's something that you got to understand how to fix within yourself. And it's wisdom to do that. Humbling, to be humble is it's one of the greatest things the Most High gave us in this truth is the humility. You can't get this truth without being humble. Let me grab this one real quick in Sirach and I'll go back and have it written down. Sirach chapter 3, verse 18, it says, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Matter of fact, let me keep reading. 19 said, many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly, because he can easily make rise a lowly man up, so to speak. But to be humble in this thing is when you do get the wisdom, you have no problem sharing it. You have no problem displaying it. Be an example of it. Just a couple more, then I'm going to close out. Back in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 23. Let's start with that. I'll start at verse 9. It says, speak not in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of thy words. Yeah, you got to know who you're talking to. You got to know when to give wisdom to somebody and when not to, especially deeper wisdom, deeper information. If I know this guy don't ever hear nothing, why would I try to break down the proper herbs to heal his mom when he ain't really worried about it? He's a fool. I'm going to just take it to the doctor. Don't take it to the doctor. Give her this and this 3 times a day. Make sure she eats this. Make sure she adds this to her diet and removes this out of her diet. A fool ain't going to hear that. Oh, I gotta remember that. I gotta go to the grocery store. Well, the hospital gonna charge you up to yin yang for their medication. That's only gonna add more demons and symptoms upon you. You know, but that's how the ways of the world is. Matter of fact, real quick, let me go into this right quick, just because it's jumping out at me. It jumped out at me earlier, and it's still kind of. There's a book of Zechariah. Damn. Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8 only. It says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third part shall be left therein. Why? Because the third part will receive this wisdom and don't have a malicious soul. Will humble them. The 1/3 and the 144,000 will humble themselves unto the Most High God's righteousness. The 2/3 will not, and they will not be saved. You know, it says in the second Ezra, the 9th chapter. Let me grab it right quick because I can't quite get the full quote in my mind. Verse 13. Matter of fact, verse 9. I'll start up at verse 9. Matter of fact, verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall abide to escape by his works, because he used wisdom in those works, right? And by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then they shall be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Those that didn't use wisdom, those malicious souls that couldn't hold it, that didn't want to humble down. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law, that hated it, like I read in the what book was that earlier, in Sirach, or was that Wisdom of Solomon? The Wisdom of Solomon, the 9th chapter. The wisdom ain't gonna rest with you. It says because you loathed it. Or matter of fact, in the 1st chapter it said it also. Anyway, it says they that have loathed my law while yet they had liberty, and when as place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. And therefore thou be not curious how the ungodly shall be punished and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved. And how will the righteous be saved? Through wisdom. Right? Now let me jump over to this one in Isaiah. Then I'll close out the Isaiah the 33rd chapter. These are just jumping out at me anyway. Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure. That's what it starts with. We read that in Proverbs the 1st chapter. You know, that's the way that you receive salvation. But a lot of Jack don't even want salvation. They don't even know that they need to be saved from something. They think they got to figure it out. Well, rude awakening is coming to you. So I'm going to close out with this script. Unless the Spirit jumps on me to read something else. But for interest of time, I'm going to close out right here. This is the book of Sirach 39 and 24. It says, as his ways are plain unto the holy, the wisdom of the Most High, his ways are plain unto the holy, unto the righteous, unto the humble. So are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked, the malicious, the proud, you know, the antichrist that have that type of spirit on them. It says, for the good are good things created from the beginning. Wisdom, we understand when you get this wisdom, you understand how to apply it. You say, oh, that's good. That works. Let me keep doing that. You can tell when you're being fed through the Spirit, right? You keep using certain things through wisdom. It says, so evil things for sinners and the destructive things that come from those that have a malicious soul, that have a proud spirit about them, that can't humble down. You know, so don't let that be you. Don't let that be you that can't get right, man. Don't be the one that can't get right. If you want that discipline in your life, this is where you find it. hearing the doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And that Great Millstone and other Israelite groups have it, but you better search it like your life depends on it, because it does. So with that, I'm going to close out, giving all praises and glories unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles at Great Millstone who rule well. Greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the house of David the elect that will receive salvation. Keep fighting, Akim. Shalom.